Hello, everybody. Welcome to the latest Inside Rovers away day preview. Rovers heading to Portman Road on Tuesday night to take on Ipswich Town. Joining me to look ahead to that one, Radio Sheffield commentator Tom Biltcliffe and, of course, Rovers assistant manager Noel Hunt, who had a spell in his playing days with the Tractor Boys. Hunty, a long trip on Tuesday against a team who've probably not done as well so far as many people might have expected.
No, it's a pretty much similar story to us about trying to find a team. I know it's different personnel and different circumstances, but I think all cook and they'll be trying to find the strongest 11 and whatnot. And I think their problems are tops and tails to ours. I think they've got too many players to pick from, and we've got not enough. How things are gone this season with us and COVID and injuries and whatnot. So yeah, I mean, for the reasons they're 3 points ahead of us, so it's something for us to look to try grab.
Of course, Rovers go there on the back of another long trip to Plymouth at the weekend, a game that ended badly, but in the main was a really good team performance, wasn't it? Perhaps one of the most complete performances that they've put together this season. Yeah,
absolutely. I mean, I'm devastated about the result, but when I was going home and I was driving back, and obviously when you're driving, I think you're your own worst enemy because you relive every minute, every moment of the game, what we could have done to change it. And we didn't really feel any danger. I think we were the better team on the day by far. I think we had them where we wanted them. If we scored a second goal, it kills the game off. I think that the penalty decision is a disgrace, if I'm being honest, because there's one in the first half when Joe Dodu goes in and he pulls it across the box, and their centre half comes out and absolutely decapitates Joe. I mean, I was having to go with Jordi Awula, not having to go, but explain to Jordi Awula, because we done it the day before about our second centre forward on the far side coming in inside the back post to get a tap in, and he put his hand up straight away. He knew that he should have been in there. But in the aftermath of it, look at it. If he's going to give a penalty for Noilly's one, there's probably 6 or 7 of them this season, this weekend. He's got to give Joe's one. So I mean, I'm sick of speaking about refs, and I'm sick of speaking of it because it makes me really annoyed. But yeah, we lost the game. I came away from it really positive, thinking that we looked a much more comfortable team, and in terms of our starting 11. I think we created plenty of chances working the last 2 weeks in terms of now that we've got bodies back, now that we're getting a little bit fitter, that press her up the field, and we can make them forward runs and play them forward passes. And again, I go back to the result. It hurts me that we lost on Saturday, but I came away feeling better from that result than I did even maybe against the Morecambe one. So we are getting there. It's steps in the right direction for me, be it all the result wasn't the right one. But I think, it was a long journey down. I think we finished the game really well. By the last 15, 20 minutes when we made maybe a couple of panicky decisions instead of having the bravery to keep the ball and keep passing it. And obviously we didn't get the result I felt we deserved.
Tom, these 2 trips that Rovers have had are difficult at any stage of the season. To have them back to back, it could really test the players, not only physically, but mentally as well.
I'd imagine so, Robbie. Yeah, they won't go back till late Saturday night, if not the early hours of Sunday morning. Then it's up and off again. And I look at the fixture list. By tomorrow night, Rovers will have played 6 away games and just 3 at home. So I'm looking at the league table, and is it kind of kidding us on a little bit about that? Is it a true reflection? They're looking forward to coming back home and seeing what they're about. But as soon as I thought that game was not necessarily in the bag as such, but an hour gone on Saturday, I couldn't see how Plymouth were going to score. Rovers executed the game plan to a T, and it is the most complete performance that we've seen to date. And if they do that again on Tuesday night against Ipswich, then I think there's at least a point in it for them.
Hunty, was the most pleasing thing that even after Plymouth had equalised, it wasn't as if it was a complete bombardment. Rovers had chances themselves, didn't they, towards the end of that game? A ball across the box from Tommy Rowe, which was inches away from being turned in by either Barlow or Vilka, and it could have quite easily been Rovers walking away with a 2-1 win.
100%. I think Jordi had one off the line. We have if we look at the 80 Barrow should score. You know, he knows himself. He came off the pitch really disappointed that he didn't score a hat-trick. You know, this is so to go from where we were at the start to build this, and you know, he said he felt much better coming into the game and whatnot. For him, I've watched training for the last few weeks when he's been out injured, but he's a finisher. He gets himself in a good position to score on Saturday. So that one from Tommy Rowe was a great chance. The one again from the far side, he should head another one in where he turns his head. When you watch it again, and then it hits the defender's knee and goes out by the near post. So, listen, the positive thing was we created plenty of chances. We could have scored 3 after they scored the equaliser. So, in terms of we want I think to be perfect all the time in terms of their decision making, their bravery on the ball, and we created probably 4 to 5 good chances after that. Actually, we give away the second goal. Up to that point, I mean, we still don't feel we're in any danger. We watched the game back and stuff, and their box entries were very limited. We did feel that it's just a bit gutting. We're gutting more so for the boys. You know, they come in later in good spirits. You know, if you look at the games we've played, you know, at the start of the season, if you go and say, listen, you're playing Sheffield Wednesday away, you're playing Rotherham away, you're playing Plymouth away, Ipswich away, Wigan away.
Bad, yeah.
Wigan away. You know, you're playing every team a heavy budget coming down from the league above. You've got teams that have new investment and the wage building structures are huge, and you know, so there again you look at going, where are you in the season, and you know, where are the run of games where you think, right, bang, you know, you're home to Morecambe, you're home to Cheltenham, you're home to these teams that have come up, you're home to the teams that have been mid to lower table last season. This is where we got to look at and think, right, now if we're going to go through the season, and we were going to say to get in the playoffs, you have to probably lose 16 games, win probably 20 games, and draw 10. You know, now either side of that, you're going to change who you're going to win and lose against on the odd ones. But you'd like to think that them 5 or 6, maybe some of the, because of the distance to Plymouth, because of the team that Sheffield Wednesday had and whatnot. I mean, these are teams that we're losing by the odd goal to. So we put it into realistic expectation for ourselves as a staff and go, right, you know, again, tomorrow, at the start of the season, you would have said Ipswich, you know, it's maybe one of them ones where they might have a bit too much, but at the moment, they look like they're still trying to find a way. They've got plenty of quality. They're just trying to find them relationships. Yeah. So we hope that we can, you know, catch them at the wrong time still.
Of course, you and Richie have both had a spell at Ipswich as players. It's an expectant crowd, isn't it? Particularly at this level, if you're getting 20,000 odd demanding that the team win, especially with the money they've spent and all the new signings. Is it a case of managing the crowd as well as the game? If you can get off to a good start and put them under a bit of pressure, then you're halfway to a good result.
Absolutely. I mean, the fans at Ipswich are unbelievable. You know, they really make it. They are from when I was there that season. We finished in the playoffs. That they were your 12th man, and they carried us through some games. But I think it's important if we go down there and we put them under pressure, and we keep the crowd quiet, you know, and then if we can you know, create the chances to score some goals and get the crowd to maybe turn a little bit, get a little bit frustrated, it's a huge part of the game. I mean, I thought we done it really well. I thought the keeper didn't know where to stick or twist, and we really got the crowd against them. At that point, I think, you know, we really should have twisted, you know, and gone for the throat. So it's definitely something that we look to do tomorrow.
Tom, of course, looking at Ipswich, I mean, you were looking at the players coming in throughout the summer, and you can't help but admire the quality, the likes of Morsey and Piggott in particular, who's caused Rovers some problems in the past. Their forward line now, no matter who's up there, are going to be a threat. But is that more difficult for Paul Cook in charge, do you feel? All right, yeah, you can attract these players and get so many of them in, but then fitting them all into one team and getting them to be successful is fairly difficult.
I wonder if Paul Cook, and don't get me wrong, I'm not going to profess to know the absolute ins and outs of Ipswich Town at the moment, but you do look at those players and you're thinking, well, you could have 2 very good sides at least two completely different 11s with different structures, different tactics, and so I wonder if he doesn't quite know as yet what his best 11 is, or certainly the one that's going to get the job done from their point of view on Tuesday. The fact that they've not got it right in 5 home games and they've only picked up 1 point, which I think that's come from a couple of goals down to get a point against Morecambe. So there will be this huge weight of expectation on them. There's an expectation across the course of the season that Ipswich Town will do well. Even more so, they'll be looking at it and see, look, we're against the bottom of the league. If we can't win this, I think there's huge pressure from the fans, and no manager's immune. Paul Cook, we know in this, he is a good manager at this level, perhaps even at the level above. But he'll be feeling it, I think, and it's up to Rovers to try and upset the apple cart.
Yeah, Hunty, obviously Ipswich without a home win, Rovers without an away win. How is it in terms of coaching the players? Of course, everyone likes those home comforts as well, don't they? But you have to be able, as you well know, to go on the road and be able to dig out performances and sneak a 1-0 if you have to, without necessarily being the most attractive on the eye.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, this is what the league's about. If the game was over 6 games of the season that you can prepare for 6 weeks, you'd have all the time in the world. But like you said, tomorrow, I think we're so right in saying that, they'll be looking for their first win. We're looking for their first away, especially, naturally because of the money they've spent, the person they've brought in. So, we'll be making sure that our players know that we've got a free hit at these, no matter what way you look at it, we're underdogs, so we can go out and fight and beg, borrow, steal for a point or for 3 points. It's it's a massive thing to hang on to. So we have 1 point right now before we even kick off a ball. Let's go try nick the free, and if the game plan goes well, and we are being that diligent and that tough and that hard to beat and solid, we can push them on the counter. If not, if we're going to go high press, I don't want to give too much away, but again, I think level, if we go high press and do what we've done on Saturday and frustrate the crowd, I think there's mistakes in everything in this league, once you get the right pressure on.
And of course, with the way that they played on Saturday, Rovers disappointed with the result, but you have to be able to take that momentum from a performance like that, don't you, into a game against Ipswich. And of course, Rovers without an away win, but performances in away games in the main have been very good.
Yeah, again, now we play really well at Sheffield Wednesday, and we're very lightweight at the top end of the field. And we've been like that from the start of the season. Now, obviously, we've got Jordy, we've got Thiago coming back fit, who look, is really good the last couple of games. Joe Dodu looks like he's getting fitter. So these three, be it all, I know it's a quick turnaround for the game tomorrow. They're somewhere here. And that's the good thing for me. That's the positive thing that we're being mindful about these. Tomorrow, going on for the season. That for me, they're between 70-75, and for us to see how they've carried themselves out over the last couple of games shows the improvement and shows how important they are in terms of being that focused, being that focal point of keeping the ball, making sure that we can get runners off and running past the game and creating them chances, picking up them pockets and getting the fullbacks on in them extra couple of seconds that we have to hold the football. Massive. It's important. So the more games we get, someone stitches up who's done pictures. I'm not going to over the start of the season. I think you do go through these periods of games, but for us, getting these players back, and getting John Taylor's back on the grass, and we've got a couple more to come back. That's strengthening our squad. It's really important that we keep on getting fit and keep building the bonds we're building with these boys, because working with them on a day-to-day basis, you come in today, they're full of positivity after Saturday, be it all the result wasn't right. They understand why we lost the game, but they feel generally really good that we're starting to turn a corner now. The fitness is there, the ideas are there, the structure is there, and it's about now how we manage the game.
Of course, no matter the opposition, if you take that out of it and just look at the points of the table, a win on Tuesday night takes Rovers level on points with Ipswich without thinking about their squad and the big crowd and all that sort of stuff. win for Rovers, level on points with Ipswich, and all of a sudden everyone's looking at it going, well, actually, they're not in the worst position in the world. It could be a lot worse.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, hindsight, I'm going back to look over, and you think if you'd won the game Saturday, it'd be 4 or 5 points off the playoff game in hand. It's such a tightly thing, but we are desperate to. You can look ahead now and think they're reachable. We can catch these tomorrow. You know what I mean? And that's the important thing. A bit of hunger that we could be level on points with Ipswich right now. This game's in, you take it, because I think sooner or later Ipswich will get going and they'll climb the table and they'll go on. So if you stay in and around Ipswich, we'll be okay.
Bilt's, just finally then, because you would imagine on Tuesday night that Ipswich will have the majority of the ball, so Rovers will have to defend well, as they did in the main on Saturday. They're also going to have to be very ruthless with what you would expect to be limited chances at Portman Road. Ruthlessness in both boxes, the key, would you say?
Yeah, absolutely. And they have been ruthless at the back. And I do think it's coincided with the return of Tom Anderson, actually. And I don't think that can be understated, how important he's been. He's coming up 6 hours since he conceded a goal in open play. I like a start, and I just think I thought he was tremendous on Saturday. I really thought he kind of kept a hold on Hardy or Jeffcott or both of them. I thought it was a really good rearguard display, and that set up the foundations. And you could see just after half time that Rovers grew in confidence from that, and did pinch that goal. And that's what they're going to do tomorrow night. That's the way to go about it. And I think Richie has said that Jordi Ewell should have had 2 at least, maybe even 3. But I think he'll come on leaps and bounds for that goal, and just the confidence he will gain from that. And as a forward line, I think they'll gain from that. But it does. You got to be sound at the back, and 0-0. Well, I think I'd take that. And I know Tom Anderson certainly would.